In a world searching for gaming knowledge comes the man, the myth, a legend in his own mind, Critical. Welcome back, guys and gals, Critical here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Grim Dawn. So I want to start another character. It's going to be a Frostburn Knight. So the concept is cold damage, being a tanky, cold damage dealing type of character. But I'm going to start this character a little different. I want to start some in the Crucible, and I looked up some stuff and I found out a pretty good way of doing that. So we go into the main campaign, and the idea is that you want to go in and get at least to level 1.
Still drawing breath. You
Yep. Heard everything you had to tell me before. So you're going to go out into the area just past town and just get to level 1. That just gives you some needed points and a little bit of survivability for the Crucible. Because the Crucible can be really mean if you just jump into the Crucible, lock, stock, and barrel. It'll take you out pretty quick. Especially if you're playing a hardcore character. This is definitely the way to start a Crucible run if you want to do it on hardcore. Now, I'm not one for hardcore. I'll admit that. I like to keep my characters. I don't want them to be thrown away and become ghosts every time they die. That sucks. Hence why I don't play hardcore. I'm just going to run out here. I'm almost to the level. I could go in there and read the books and that would be more than enough. I'll save that till when I come back out. Boss mob. Thank you. Get the level by mobs. And then I'm immediately going to exit the game. And then switch over to the Crucible. If you haven't downloaded the Crucible, I believe it's still $5. I got it on sale when I bought Grim Dawn as a package deal, and I got it for a lot cheaper. But for $5, it's pretty cool. And if you've never seen it, this is a Crucible. Now, this guy up here is the master of the Crucible, and basically, he wants entertainment. He wants you to entertain him. He's brought all the mobs and monsters from in the game, and he spawns them in here and just kind of he berates you and make you feel like, like you're a piece of crap. But at least he gives you some items. Potions of mending, and he gives you some iron to start with. And there's vendors. This is your components, so you can dismantle and or salvage. Here's your smuggler that allows you to get into your item transfer and item storage. This is a cursed smith or a blacksmith. Cool thing about this guy is you can jump in here and craft dynamite, which is nice if you don't have access to it in the main game. This is your immortal peddler. Now this guy, does your devotion points. As you complete the Crucible, you'll get awards of tributes, and you can use those tributes to either get blessings so that you're beefed up for the next fight. You can use it to put up some defenses, or you can turn them in for devotion points. What we're going to do is turn them in for devotion points. And there's no points to claim. This is a spirit guide, so you can reset your character. So what I'm going to do in the Crucible is I'm going to start the first round of battle. I'm going to defeat it, and I'm immediately going to turn it in. Now, the Crucible works is that it's like a lottery. You're going to win a little. You're going to get through the battle. You have a choice. Do I want to take my reward now, or do I want to fight again and try to get a better reward? More powerful equipment that drops. Every time that you make it through, he gives you the choice. Now, if you die, he'll still pay you, but it won't be as good as if you had made it. What we're trying to do in here is get the first 5 devotion points before we ever start in the beginning of the game. This gives you a huge jump, and depending on what kind of character you're going to build, it can really take you a long way in the game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the very first battle, walk you through it so you see what we're going to be facing, and then I'll speed up the precipitating battles, but I'll show you the loot that I get at the end. So I'll show you the loot chamber each time, but I'll just speed up the battles. We'll do battle lapses. And then at the end, we should be ready to go into the main game and start this character, which is my Frostburn Knight. Now, preparing for this, I tested to make sure this actually worked, and I've been collecting gear for a while. Now, this is some of the higher level gear that I have available for this character, but I'm no slouch. I like to start the game well endowed, and I got myself a whole slew of good equipment put on. Alright, I got all my gear on. Let's go ahead and start the Crucible.
Welcome to my Crucible. Though you are still unproven, a mere fledgling, there is potential in you. So I've summoned you here to battle for my amusement. But I am not a cruel master. Succeed, and you shall be rewarded with vast wealth. Fail, and know only my scorn.
I'm ready to fight. Fight! And this is basically what the Crucible is. He spawns in mobs, they come in waves. You have a timer. If you can defeat the waves before the timer runs out, then the multiplier goes up. If you keep the multiplier at 10, you can get a better an extra chest. If you can defeat the Crucible, you get 5 chests. And if you can, the higher the score is, the better chests and items you get. And if you can keep the multiplier at times 10, you can get an extra chest. It just means more loot, basically. Now, without all this gear that I've already put on, plus that level I got in the main game, this would be, it can be difficult. I have died on the first run of the Crucible. Now, if you're trying to do a hardcore character, well, that doesn't work. That's the whole point of hardcore. Now, those areas will affect you. You'll lose health in those areas, so be careful. But because you have an item transfer, you can bring in extra health potions, extra gear. There's the timer clicking down. Now, if a boss mob spawns, which they do, taking them down resets the timer, adds time to it. If you do that before taking out the other mobs, it'll reset the timer, add some more time to it. Not reset it, but adds more time to it. The problem with that is the next time the timer starts, you'll be at a deficit because you had to resort to the extra time.
Pathetic.
But this first run, or if you're doing this in hardcore, don't worry about the timer. It's just about surviving. That's all you're trying to do, is survive until the end of the run, so you can get your reward. Watch out for these vitality guys. They are nasty. They like to drop the sigils on you a couple at a time. They got 3 or 4 of them casting sigils. It'll burn you down quick. For this character, it gets much easier once I get past this first level, because then I'll get some more attacks. I'll have my heal, and I'll be able to put that other gear on too that I have. Come on. Now, at the end of this run, after I do this 5 times to get to turn in 3 tributes each time so I can get my 5 devotion points, I'll be at level 13. I'll be about halfway through 13, a little bit more. See, here's the boss guy. Alright, so now I've completed. Every time you complete, there's a vital essence here, so that you can buff yourself back up. You want to talk to the master of the ceremonies. If you're doing this on hardcore, I've made mistakes where I wanted to turn it in, but I inadvertently hit let's begin. That starts it over again. That starts the next round of fights. If you've really screwed up, exit. Hit escape, exit the game. You'll come back in, but you're going to lose the reward that was in there, but you'll save your character. Something to keep in mind if you're doing hardcore. But I wish to collect my reward. I go up to level 8. So I get an extra boost of experience, and he awards me the tribute points. Which then I go over here, I prove my devotion, I spend my 3 tributes, and I get 1 devotion point. And I'm going to be going for tank for the first one. It's going to hurt my damage a little bit, but I'd rather have survivability than a little bit of extra DPS. And of course, I can always change this if I need to. And then we go into the treasure room. Now, there are different crucibles. I believe there's 4 total crucible rooms, different ways it could spawn. I'm going to go ahead and turn off all the white gear. I don't need to worry about that. Now, I've seen blue, green, and white gear, and then components. I've seen some rare components. Get a lot of scrap in here, which is really nice for the beginning of the main mission. Already going in there with some scrap in your hands is very nice. Now, when I said about testing, one of the things I wanted to make sure of is that if I did this and then started the main game, does the main game level with me? And I ran through all the way and took out the Area 1 boss earlier today, and I did this with the character, then ran through the Area 1, and everything except for the very first area of Act 1 leveled with me. They were all level 7, but then after I got past them, things were levels 13, then level 17, so they were all leveling with me. So by the time I killed the boss, and I didn't do hardly any of the content in the game, I just literally rushed right to the boss. I think I ended at about 14 or 15, and the mobs in there were 1 level higher than I was. So it still made it challenging, but not difficult. So this is what I've got. I'm going to go through it and see what I want to do, and then I'm going to start the next Crucible run, and I'll bring you back at the end. Alright, guys and gals, I've gone ahead and finished that first fight. Alright, so this is round 2, second time that I've collected my reward. And you want to keep track of this. You don't want to mess it up. And I'll take that first point in turtle. Yes, and confirm. Now, when I'm doing a Nightblade build, I've just started doing Nightblade builds. I've messed around a couple of times with it now. I like to pump Veil of Shadow before I'll pump the Night's Chill. The damage is nice. If I can get a couple points in there from gear, I will. But I want the range of the Night's Chill ability to get out further. There we go. A little bit of extra damage, more range for that damage to get out, and a little bit more survivability. Let's go check the chest. That's not bad. A couple Aether Crystals, a lot of yellows, and a few greens. I'll go through this, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to do the next treasure room. Alright, that one went pretty simple, and it's like I said, as it goes, as long as I get this gear and these levels, it gets easier and easier for me. Oh, a few more greens. This one looks looking better. Oh yeah, several more greens this time. I'll go through the gear and get ready for the next run. Alright, back for the next treasure room. Oh, I get a blue, but a little lighter on the greens. Alright, I'm going to go through all this and get ready for the next run, which should be our last run. Alright guys and gals, I've got my 5th run finished. Let's see what kind of goodies I get in the chest. Some of the gear I picked up was actually worth it, and I'm glad I picked it up. Oh, not bad. Anything that really stands out and grabs me by the you-know-what's-it? No, not really. Basically, this is just going to be cannon fodder for the... Oh, I got some royal jelly, though. Nice. Aether crystals and royal... Ooh, 2 royal jelly. Not a bad run on that. So, in the end, I have ended up at level 13 with 10 plus 10 to my physique, which is needed for a tanky type character. I have got... I'm probably going to save those points because I want to go into my soldier and I want to aim for Menthar's Will, military conditioning, and fighting spirit. So I'll probably hold those 3 points. That's probably the next thing I'm going to do to round out my tankiness. And I'll start pumping, as I'm going through Act 1, I'll start pumping Night's Chill, because that's where a lot of my damage is coming from. And that's my idea of this character. I'm going to be pumping Night's Chill and Veil of Shadow as much as I can to increase all that Frostburn damage, because it's all passive damage. I'm sitting there beating on the boss and all his minions are being completely devastated by my prowess with Frostburn damage. And I've gone ahead and taken the turtle and applied it to my Veil of Shadows so that it can actually heal me or absorb 500 damage. So it's constantly proccing every 50 seconds. This is going to be going off because this is affecting everything around me. It's not worrying about me casting something. It's just always going to be trying to proc. And that's the thought process behind this character. Is it viable long term? We'll have to see. The next episode I'll be starting in Act 1. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this content. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. Thank you for being here. You guys have a nice day. Bye.